Today, everyone's favorite girl boss fascist Giorgia Meloni is having a very bad day. And a bad day for Giorgia is a great day for the rest of us. But why is Madame Mussolini having such a bad day, you ask? Well, that is because Georgia's government has found itself in front of the European Union's Court of Justice for its Albania plan once again. And before we get too far in, do some engagement or else no one's gonna see and I can't eat. If you don't know what Giorgia Meloni's Albania plan is, it's basically she wants to have concentration camps in Albania that are already built, mind you, to be used to house indefinitely migrants and asylum seekers. Yes, she wants to use Albania like Trump is using El Salvador. And Georgia isn't the only politician pushing this kind of nonsense. Keir Starmer in the UK from UK Labour is pushing the exact same thing, standing side by side with Miss Giorgia Meloni. And putting aside the awkward colonial relationship that the last group of Italian fascists had in Albania, Edi Rama, the Prime Minister of Albania, has openly welcomed Miss Giorgia Meloni, even kneeling in the literal rain to greet her, because he sees huge financial opportunities in hosting literal concentration camps on his soil. If you're wondering if there's sketchy private prison companies also involved in this scheme, oh, you betcha. So let's get back to the court case. The question at hand revolves around how do you determine a third country is a safe place to deport asylum seekers back to. This involves determinations on countries like Syria, Afghanistan, and Iran. Meloni's government and many other European Union member states' governments have all taken the tact that they can just declare a place safe, and because they've declared it, they can just deport people back to it, even if there is currently a war going on or ethnic cleansing. Giorgia Meloni's government basically argued that they, as the government, get to determine what countries are safe or not based upon anything other than what the government feels at that particular moment. The Court of Justice did not like this vibes-based argument from the government of Italy and has ruled incredibly clearly and decisively against Italy, and not only them, every other member state that has similar programs in place. The court determined once again, in reference to another case about the Albania concentration camps, that the Italian government was in complete violation of EU law and EU treaty. It also laid out clearly a criteria for how a government can determine what is a safe country or not. The European Union Court of Justice said that it has to be something that is passed in national legislation, that is open for judicial review, and that the information sources to determine this safety have to be agreed upon by both parties, meaning the government and the person who is potentially being deported. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, it required third countries to be safe for all kinds of people, meaning ethnic, sexual, religious minorities, and every other kind of person. You can't declare a place safe if it's only safe for some kinds of people. To put more simply, the court decided you can't just have a vibes-based approach to picking and choosing what countries are safe and not just because you want to deport a bunch of foreigners. Actually, EU human rights law and asylum law is very clear in this respect, especially related to third countries and what is safe or not. But this victory for human rights is one of the reasons that governments like Giorgia Meloni's and Mette Frederiksen in Denmark want to get rid of the European Union's human rights law and rewrite it themselves, because they want to legalize these clearly illegal things that they're attempting to do. And this is very dangerous. Not only are they attempting to do this on the European Union level, but also on the European total level, because there are also treaty agreements guaranteeing human rights laws that every single country except for Belarus and Russia are signatories to on this continent. This is also once again a reminder why these structures were put in place in the first place, because back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, governments wanted to do highly illegal things all the time, and people determined after the Second World War and the literal Holocaust that maybe we should restrict governments from just doing whatever they wanted through a series of institutions. But those institutions are only as strong as the people who are keeping them together and the public's willingness to fight to maintain those things. Very quickly, those institutions can collapse and become impotent, as we are seeing daily in Trump's America. Not only that, people like Giorgia Meloni, who are incredibly powerful and important figures in the global far-right movement, have been normalized to such a large degree by mainstream politicians and media people that she just appears as that nice lady from Italy. Meanwhile, she has incredible control over domestic Italian media, meaning that likely most people in Italy will have never heard about this story, as they have never heard about most bad stories about Giorgia Meloni unless they're seeing TikToks like mine produced outside of Italy. Fascism isn't a faraway thing for Italians. It is here and now and has been in government for years. And if we do not stop and take down every single fascist that seizes power in a country anywhere in the world, we continue to fuel a ever greater monster that looks to control everything everywhere and unleash its war against all. Times are hard and things are scary, but Italians must look fascism in the face and say, no passaran.